We have another question from a client in my Being Accelerator, and this is about sales versus coaching as a sales methodology, essentially. So one of the things I teach in Being a Client Magnet is don't just sell people, just coach them. If you're a coach, just coach them. And through coaching them, they're going to want more of that, and then you can take payment and they can be your client. And examples I use, like if I was going to start a painting business, I wouldn't spend all my time talking about painting and pitching painting. I'd buy a fucking brush and a paint can, and I'd look for something, I'd just start painting it. Okay, so like doing the work. That's just how I've done in every business, in web media and real estate, and now in the coaching industry for 15 years. I've made millions of dollars in all these industries by just starting off, by just doing the service, and that leads to clients, okay? And I have been studying and getting good at sales since I was a little kid, fascinated with it. How do I get another human being to see the thing that I'm seeing and to say yes to that, whatever it is, in any context? And so my life is selling. Everything in me is here to sell. And that is why when I discovered the world of coaching, I was like, holy shit, I can get paid literally to sell. There's not like I sell something else, but I just sell you on me selling you, and that's the entire business. What? Sign me up. And so that's why I got into coaching, is because I saw it as a way to use this art of conversation that moves a person from one way of seeing themselves or the world to another way of seeing themselves or the world. It's not just a means to get a customer or a client anymore. That's the actual service. That's what I get paid for. So I can do it to create the client, and then they can pay me to keep doing it with them. Because for me, coaching is selling. When I'm coaching a person, I'm selling them on a greater possibility for themselves. I'm using conversation to help them see something they're not seeing. I'm using conversation and my state of being and my listening and my talking and all of it to help them to come to understand a certain perspective and a certain possibility. Because once they can see that, and they can access that within themselves. And so this distinction of should I sell people or should I just coach them and provide my service and then they're going to want more, it's a made up distinction that I use to get people out of the intention of trying to get from a person and just give to them. Because normally when a person thinks about selling, not me necessarily, but a lot of people, maybe me at some point, in some points, when I think about selling, I might think about, or a person might think about, how do I get them to give me money? And if that's what you mean by selling and that's what you feel when you're trying to sell, then don't sell. Forget sales altogether. And most of the time, people that are coaches, when they think about, I'm going to coach this person, they think about helping that person to see something for themselves in their life. So yeah, do that. Do only that. Actually, great sales is the latter. You could be a salesperson who is committed primarily to helping another person see something, to helping them see the truth, to helping them see a greater possibility of what your service could do for them in their life. And you could come from a place where that's an actual service. You're providing actual value to help a person to understand and see a possibility that they can't see right now. If you can come from that place where you call it sales, then call it sales. But my point is like these distinctions are either useful or not useful depending on what it's generating in your body, the intention it's activating in you, how you're feeling, where you're coming from. That's what matters. The words are kind of secondary, but they are signposts. So what do they trigger in you? So when I've got my client distinguishing, should I sell them or should I just coach them? I actually think it's time now for us to dissolve this distinction and for actually to stop having you see them as different and to start to see that it's not an alternative to just help a person, that just helping a person is a way to get them into your program. And one of the ways that you can help a person, I think here's the rub, here's the important thing. If you are restricting helping people to helping them with the things that they're asking for, then they're leading the conversation, you're not. For me, I'm going to help a person with what they're asking for, and I'm also going to help them to come to see things that I think it would be useful for them to see. So when I'm coaching you, I'm not just helping you to get what you say you want. I'm also helping you get things that I think would be helpful for you to understand and get. And some of those things may be different than what you're asking for. In fact, some of those things may also involve you hiring me to do more work. Maybe we're getting to the near the end of a coaching relationship and I'm having a conversation with you that's helping you to see the possibility of another year of our work together. I'm coaching you. I'm selling you. Same, all the time. Those aren't different. I'm just creating in conversation. This is why I call my work creating, is at the bottom of both sales and coaching is creating in conversation. That's all it is. And it's always the same thing. The way for you to be able to not have this distinction between sales and coaching, I think, is about you being able to see service in both of them. Being able to see how I use conversation to help people to come to an understanding that increases and expands the possibility for them. Some of those increases in expansion of possibility involve things going on in their life. Some of them involve things going on between us, but all of it is genuinely in service of them. When you can come from service, no matter what you're talking about, there's no need for these distinctions anymore. You can see that your coaching is selling and your selling is coaching. And when that's the case, you can just coach or just sell all the time. Like I could call everything I do sales. I could be, I'm the sales guy. I sell people on being sold to. That's essentially what I do. I sell you on me selling to you for the next 6 months or a year. When you join my Being Accelerator, I have sold you on learning how to sell through me selling you on how to do that. That's exactly what it is. But instead I say, I create the possibility for you to be in conversation with me, where I create a deeper capacity for you to create other people in conversation to be clients with you. It gets a bit redundant, but you get the point. So the other thing that my client asked in the same question was in reference to something that I learned from a sales mentor, coaching mentor, same, where he said to me, sell the experience. And for a long time, I thought that meant provide an experience and then sell them on something, right? Provide an experience that wows them and then offer some opportunity, some possibility, right? But then I realized like a couple of years ago, this was many years after he gave me the idea, that like what he meant was to sell them the experience that they just had with you. So for example, if I just provided an experience of being in conversation in a group setting, sell them being in conversation in a group setting. If I just had a one-to-one conversation with them, then sell them a one-to-one conversation. I was like, oh, I get it. And I could see how there were times where I'd been speaking on a stage at an event that I run to like 50 or 60 people. And from that stage where they're basically just an audience and I'm speaking to them for the whole couple days, and then I sell them an intimate group coaching program, there's a different, I was relating to that group coaching program as something different than what we'd just been doing for 2 days. And my relationship to that as different, here's the key, created a gap that had not enough people jump into that program for me to hit my goals, right? Financial goals, number of people that signed up. And so when I realized that, I was like, oh shit, I'm going to start doing at my events what I am actually offering post the event, a lot closer to it, so that they're having the experience that I'm selling them at the end. So they're basically buying more of what they already did. So that was a great step. Once I did that, my income doubled, tripled, quadrupled over the following events. And after I've done this 3 or 4 times now, what I realize is it's not actually the difference in the experience, some objective difference. What's actually relevant is my relationship to those things as different. So now what I do is I focus on the transformation that I'm creating in the room. And in the room, there's a certain context, there's certain things that I'm doing. I'm teaching, I'm speaking from the front of the room. I have a particular program of content, like the one coming up from my American Shadow event. I have a training that I'm going to be delivering. There'll be exercises that you're working on and stuff. And there's coaching. And off the back of that, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to be offering yet, but it's not going to be exactly the same as that. It will be different, but that's not a problem, because what I'm going to be focused on is what's the same about both. And as long as I am connected to what's the same about the experience that you just had and the experience that I'm offering you, then I am selling the experience that you just had. There's always going to be sameness and there's always going to be difference. How much am I connected to the sameness versus how much am I connected to the difference? That's the difference that makes the difference. So for my client who's got these calls coming, 30-minute calls, potential client calls for a community that people could be joining that has some coaching in it, some group coaching, some live presentation, some community value, being part of peer groups and all that thing. There's all those things. His question was like, well, if I just coach them for a half hour, then that's not really going to be the experience they're having in the community. Yeah, but it's part of it. Coaching's part of it. And the other thing you want to do is chunk up, right? Like think about what is the experience of having a community? What is the transformation that's going to occur there? Give them a taste of what that transformation is like. And here's obviously the important thing. It's not just like give them an experience of it. Those experiences need to be connected to what is the goal? What is the vision? What do they want? It's like 90% of it is about not what happens in the program, not what you even do here. Yes, it's important to provide an experience, but that needs to be contextualized as part of a trajectory towards some grand outcome, something that they really want, some future they're like, fuck, that would be fucking awesome. So I see a future that would be awesome. I get that you see that future for me. I just experienced a transformation for you that gives me a faith that I can move in that direction if I get more of this. And you're saying this other program over there has some of this and a bunch of other things that will support that. I'm in. So look for the sameness between the experience you're providing and the experience you're selling. Get them hyper connected to a beautiful, powerful outcome. And give them, and have that experience be one that actually gives them trust that this thing and you will take them all the way there. And that is coaching, or that is selling. Call it whatever you want. Same. Up to you. I love you. Thank you for listening. Talk to you soon.